guys, welcome to the Punk Rock Condition, where we explore, discover, and appreciate all things punk rock. If that interests you, please subscribe. Here on today's episode, we're doing something new. We're doing episode 1 of Discography Rankings, where we just take a dive in on one of my all-time favorite bands and rank their whole discography. Now listen, I also do these fan appreciation videos that are more long form for bands that I love as much as I love Green Day. But for today, we're just looking at the discography and a little background on my relationship with Green Day. Listen, nobody loves them more than me, but they do drive me crazy. And when they do things that I don't like, I can definitely get super angry and critical towards Green Day, but it all comes from a place of love. Listen, man, they made me fall in love with music when I was 12 years old. They opened the door for me to get interested in punk rock, real punk rock, for my whole life. And they made me want to play guitar, and they made me want to start a band, and Billy Joe's my freaking hero. I'll do anything to meet him. Anything that I say that's critical towards them is just because how deeply I love them. So anyways, this video is for two different kinds of people. Somebody who's trying to get into Green Day for real for the first time and wants the opinion of somebody who's listened to everything they've ever done and has been paying attention to them and everything they've ever done for 30 years. So this can just fast track that a little bit for you, let you know where to start, let you know what I think of everything as far as where it all lands. And then also, for any Green Day fans out there that want to argue with me and tell me what they think about the discography, feel free. But I ask one thing. Don't go spouting off in the comments unless you've listened to every single song they've ever written. Alright? Every single one, over and over. In that case, let me have it. I'd love to hear your opinion. But, all that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to go in chronological order here. And I'll just rank them all, put them all in tiers, and then I might tweak it a little at the end. So yeah, let's do this. Green Day, you're up, baby. Let's start at the beginning. This is definitely going to be an A tier album for me. Not a skip on it. Love, Don't Leave Me, Going to Pass the Lockwell, Only of You, some of the great songs on that record. Billy Joe wrote that when he was like 16 or 15 or really, really young. But you can totally see how great of a songwriter he was right out of the gate. And there's a couple of songs that still hang around, Paper Lanterns being one of them. But great album from start to finish, man. I love that album. Next up would be Kerplunk. And Kerplunk's one of my all-time favorite albums. I wrestle with whether or not to put this in S tier or not. I'm gonna put it in S tier for the moment. Again, forget about it, man. Phenomenal album from start to finish. Not a bad song on it. They show some of their humor for the first time on this record with Dominated Love Slave. Off the top of my head, come on, Christie Road, 2,000 Light Years Away, One for the Razorbacks, Holden Caulfield. They're all great. I love Kerplunk. I may end up pushing it down to A tier by the end, but for now, let's put it in S tier because I love Kerplunk with all my heart. Next up would be Dookie, and that's S tier, and I'm not going to say anything about Dookie that hasn't already been said. It's a seminal album. There's a million bands that owe so much to what Dookie did to the music scene. The doors it opened for people. It's a classic. It would probably be in the top 20 or 30 rock records written of all time. And it's shocking how many staple songs that everyone knows all came off the same record. Basket Case, When I Come Around, Longview, She, and Welcome to Paradise were all hit songs. Although Welcome to Paradise was first on Kerplunk. So next up, we've got Insomniac. I absolutely love Insomniac. I think it's actually the most straightforward punk record they have. And there's no question that it's going to be in A tier. It was the follow-up to Dookie, which was a really hard thing to do. But holy smokes, I love Insomniac. Best songs on Insomniac, it's hard to pick, but I don't know. No Pride, Westbound Sign. The hits on it were Brain Stew and Geek Stink Breath. It really suffered from having to follow up Dookie. Absolutely phenomenal album from start to finish. And like I said, probably the most straightforward, angriest punk rock. I think because they were a little angry because people were trying to call them not punk rock because they had gone mainstream and gotten popular. So they were like, fuck you, check this album out. Love Insomniac, man. Next up, we got Nimrod. And Nimrod's definitely an A-tier album. No question about it. This is the first time we start to see some legitimate versatility show up. And it's the first time that we see them write songs that we are gonna later see on American Idiot 21st Century Breakdown. Right in the middle there of that album, when the way that Jinx and Hoshinka go together, that's the first time you can start to see what Green Day's gonna do later with the long form songs that you hear on American Idiot and 21st Century Breakdown. Jinx and Hoshinka in the middle of Nimrod is the first time that shows up. But this is also when we get some slower stuff with like Worry Rock and of course Good Riddance, Time of Your Life. And I remember at first being like, oh man, Green Day's changing. Like in real time when I was like 16 or 17, whenever it came out. I remember having a hard time digesting it, but shortly thereafter I realized just how fucking good of an album Nimrod is. Best songs, I mean Scattered, number 5 might be my favorite Green Day song of all time. Well, probably Jesus Suburbia, but Scattered, man, such a great song. I love Nimrod, no question about it. Phenomenal album from start to finish, and an interesting point in their career because we get that glimpse. So next up we have Warning, and it took me a lot of years to fall in love with Warning. It really did. I can't put it any higher than B, but listen, there's some great songs on there, man. Freaking Deadbeat Holiday, Church on Sunday, Castaway. The only gripe I have with Warning is the production, the guitar tones. I don't particularly like the song Warning or Minority for that matter. Those songs are kind of annoying. But there's some really great songwriting on Warning. It wasn't received well when it came out commercially. It actually almost broke them up, if I remember correctly. I think that Billy Joe was getting offers from like to go solo, and it's like, all right, Green Day's done, right? And that's why right after Warning, you saw them do like the Super Hits record and the B-side record, Shenanigans, which we're going to talk about next. Yes, I did include it in the ranking, which maybe because it was a B-side thing, it shouldn't be, but it's so good, I want to talk about it. But Warning kind of backed them into a corner where it was like, oh, you guys might be done. And that's why I think they changed so dramatically when they went into American Idiot. It was like, if we're going to keep doing this thing, let's do something bigger and different. And we'll talk about American Idiot in a minute. But as far as Warning goes, listen, I don't think it's where anybody should start. I don't think that it has anything on there that stands out as better than anything else. But as a Green Day lunatic, as the years went on, you know, there's some really good songs on that album. Blood, whatever number 2 is, Blood and Booze, or whatever that one's called. Blood, Sex, and Booze, I think. Really good song. I grew to love Warning over time. I really did. But definitely not their best. If you're trying to get into them, save it until you find to fall in love with them for real, and then revisit it. So next up we got Shenanigans, which is a B-side, and but I love it. I think it's amazing, and it really does stand on its own if you look at it that way. I would put it probably at the front of the B tier. I remember being really annoyed when Shenanigans came out in reality because I was always buying every single Green Day thing as it came out. And I always was like, oh, you know, I want to be on TV and different songs that I knew because I bought all the singles when they came out. And then they just spoon-fed it to everybody, and I was kind of angry, like, come on, man. I liked only being not the only one, but I liked feeling like I had collected these songs that nobody else had, and then they just gave them out to everybody. But the truth is, man, Do Da Da, Suffocate, Desensitized. There's some great, straightforward, fucking awesome Green Day songs on Shenanigans. And yeah, I know it's a B-side, but let's just treat it like it's its own thing, because I feel like if you were going to get into Green Day and you listen to that record, there's nothing bad on it. It's super cool. Except for that one little instrumental track that they had on the Austin Powers soundtrack. that they put on there. I forget what it's called, but that one you can skip over. But for the most part, and they included that "Ha Ha You're Dead" song on there too, which I think Mike Dirnt wrote that one, I believe. Really cool song too. The last song on that record, "Ha Ha You're Dead." Love that shit. So next up we got American Idiot, and this falls into the same category as Dookie, meaning like, what can I say about it that hasn't already been said? Again, one of the best rock records ever written. They won the Grammy for best. They won Grammys. They had the play on Broadway that came from that record, which I went and saw twice, by the way. I saw it like the 6th show ever showing, I think. When Billy Joe was actually playing St. Jimmy, I went there and was sitting like right up front and was just like beside myself. And then I went to the last American Idiot showing ever. And Green Day themselves was there. And they came out and did like an hour-and-a-half set. It was incredible, man. That was the coolest time I ever saw Green Day. Was the final time American Idiot was ever on Broadway. And Green Day came out and played this amazing set. And opened up with like Only a View or something off their first album. American Idiot. It's fucking flawless. It's fucking brilliant. And who it peaks twice. Green Day peaked with Dookie, obviously. And then all these years later, they peak with American Idiot even higher. And all the stuff that they did surrounding American Idiot was just so fucking incredible. It actually is a better album than Dookie. I mean, pound for pound, it just is. But Dookie was more important because of how much cultural influence it had and how many doors it opened for all these bands. So I would put Dookie slightly ahead of it, but American Idiot musically is just a bigger accomplishment than Dookie was. So I'll keep Dookie in front of it there. But now we get to 21st Century Breakdown. And I love this album, but it suffered in the same way that Insomniac did. It had to follow up American Idiot, which is a fucking complete impossibility. There are some amazing songs on 21st Century Breakdown, man. Murder City, Gloria, Christian's Inferno. But there's also a couple of songs that are like drawn out and kind of annoying. And, you know, you can see they were trying to do this, they were trying to be that, trying to stay this kind of maybe arena rocky or something like that. But I love 21st Century Breakdown. I might end up sliding it up to A tier when we look at the end here, but yeah, good stuff. Put it in B tier for now. And now we're going to start to get into some of the critical, where I'm going to get really critical of Green Day. So if you don't want to hear somebody bitch about Green Day, now's the time to leave, because there's going to be a lot of bitching from here on out. That's a bunch of stuff that I love that's up in the tier right now. But from here on out, I'm probably going to do a good bit of bitching. So, of the Uno Dos Tre thing, the triple album, which Billy Joe has even admitted he was having personal problems at the time, and he looked at Green Day as this like runaway train, that the progress train could never end. So they just had to keep writing and keep writing and keep writing. And I think they made a mistake with this triple record. If you listen closely enough to all three albums, you can squint and see one good album in there. But that's not what we got. This record, the production on it, I don't like any of the production. Most of the songs suck. And they're so cookie cutter and just blah, 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 blah. Most of it I'm not a fan of at all. But there's some good songs on Uno, okay? Some good songs on Uno. I'll put it's still going down here because I never listened to it. But, like, what is that song? Rusty James is a good song. It's like the one legitimately good song on there. So, yeah, I would put Uno down there. It's got some redeeming qualities, but for the most part, I don't care if I ever listen to it again. Dos is pathetic. Some of the songs on that record make me sick. And I do believe there's one good song on there, Lazy Bones. is a song worth listening to. But other than that, it's a fucking disgrace. And that brings us to Trey, which, again, I'll put it up here. Got a couple of good songs. I think that 99, whatever it's called, Revolutions at the end is a good song. And Ex-Kid is a pretty good song. And if you listen closely enough, there's a couple of redeeming moments on Trey. I could even maybe consider putting it up to C, but again, I hate the guitar tones and the cookie cutter nature of those tunes. I don't have a real keen opinion on that stuff because it basically just made me angry and made me sick. So if you're younger and you like Uno Dos Tres and it drew you to Green Day, I don't have anything against that. Anybody that's going to find their way to Green Day. Listen, Green Day's such a popular band. There's more than one way to love Green Day. So I don't fault anybody who likes that stuff. I just have trouble believing that you could listen to other Green Day and choose that area of their discography to focus on. I really don't like it. Now, Revolution Radio followed up Uno Dos Tres, and they recorded it themselves. And I think it's the most underrated record in Green Day's discography. There's some good stuff on there, man. Although it's not, like standing up to their great stuff or anything like that. Bang Bang and Revolution Radio, the song, and then like Troubled Times and Forever Now and Too Dumb to Die. These are songs I'll listen to anytime. And I know Green Day like recorded it themselves, and it was like a bounce back from the shit that I hated about Uno Dos Tres. And so it was like, okay, Green Day, I can live with this. This is okay. It's not embarrassing, which Uno Dos Tres was to me. So, Revolution Radio coming out is pretty damn good. I'm going to put it at the end of B tier because the songs that I do like on there I really love. But I don't know. I think maybe I'll put it at... We'll come back to it. We'll decide. I don't want to talk about this record much because it's fucking pathetic. I don't even want to mention what it's called. I don't want to say anything about it. It makes Uno Dos Tres look like Dark Side of the Moon. It's pathetic beyond description. I hate it so much. Need I say more? I should put it in an extra tier below F. It's so horrendous. And finally we get to Saviors, which I'll put up here. It's pretty good. I know that it had a lot of commercial success, but they don't do anything on there that they don't do better on other albums. Yeah, the songs that were on there that I liked kind of get stuck in my head in a bad way, like Coma City and 1981. It was like, I dug them at first, the Look Ma, I Got No Brains or whatever that song is. It's like, alright, I'm glad they had commercial success with it. It was definitely a return to form after that Father record, which again I'm not referring to it. It's so pathetic. So at least they like came back and were like, look, we're good. We're not gonna go away forever. We're still gonna write some good shit here. So let me take one last final look here at the albums and see if I want to shuffle them around at all. I would put Nimrod in front of their first album. And you know what? In all seriousness, let's bring in Kerplunk down here. It's amazing, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't belong on the same tier as those two. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for sure. 6 would be there. That's it. That is absolutely it. That's where I'm at with Green Day. The two incredibly transcendent records, Kerplunk, Insomniac, Nimrod, and 39 Smooth, just phenomenal from start to finish. There's not a bad song on those first 6 records. There's not. They're all flawless albums. 21st Century Breakdown has some really high highs, but it just drags on a little bit here and there. Maybe a couple songs where you go like, eh. Shenanigans is great, but, there's nothing complex about it. All right, so that's a wrap on my ranking of Green Day's discography. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. what Green Day meant to you. I'll do a longer form video on Green Day at some point. But for now, that's a wrap. Green Day's discography ranked according to a monster Green Day fan who's been listening for 30 years. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys on the next one.